In reviewing the audits that Augie had provided me, the 2009, 2010, I don't know how detailed anybody has looked at those as a reference. Is this the same entity that's going to do our next audit? Do we know?
Yes.
Okay. I'll pass those out. It's a copy of questions that I've only pertained to one particular area, and I'd like to read this. It takes about 3 minutes if you don't mind.
You want this file?
I think it ought to be. Considering what I'm finding in here, I think there's some serious questions. After numerous requests for copies of budgets from the 911 board, I was told by Craig Smith, which is the attorney for 911, they do not adopt budgets. They also do not have any audits. Taking that information into consideration and cross-referencing that with the 2009 and 2010 budgets, or the audit budgets here, there's a total of 8 questions that I've listed. For an agency that does not adopt a budget, how can they legally spend money? For an agency that does not adopt a budget, how is it that in 2009 and in 2010, financial statements and the audits, there's a reported budget line item for administration fee? Where'd those figures come from if they don't have a budget? In 2009, that budget line item found on page 32 reflects a budget number of $5,500 for administration fees. Review of all minutes from 2009 do not reflect any motion to approve such an item. Don't know where that authorization for the deduction came from, and I'd like to know that. In 2010, the same administration fee found on page 37 reflects a budget number of $1,500 for administration fee, which is $4,000 less than reported in 2009. Yet again, nowhere in the 2010 minutes is such an amount approved with acknowledgement of no budgets. Who provided the number for the record? Somewhere somebody's gotten a set of numbers for this record, but there's no budgets from 911 to support it. The only record approving any administration fee for 911 is reported in the March 2003 minutes for 911 under bills presented for the month for $1,248.51, 11 years after the formation of the board. To date, over $45,000 has come out of the 911 account for administration fees, yet the record reflects only a single motion to approve a bill for $1,248 and change. Number 7, more disturbing, is the transaction history provided by the Treasurer's report. A total of $5,042 for 2010 was spent, which does not match the figures in the financial report. Who prepared the financial report? Where are they getting their numbers? Because the numbers that are in our county treasurer's office do not match what's in this report. Why is 911 detailed information not included in 2009 and 2010 financial report, especially since in 2009, 911 is listed as a major fund for this county? There's no detailed information in the audit at all. There's a line item for expenditures and revenues and a balance. There's no other information in there. An outline in the audit both years. The National Council on Government Accounting has concluded that the basis criteria for including an agency, institution, authority, or other organization in a government unit reporting entity is the exercise of oversight responsibility over such agencies by the government unit's elected officials. Oversight responsibility is defined to include, but not limited to, financial interdependency. When a separate agency produces a financial benefit for or imposes a financial burden on a unit of government, that agency is part of the reporting entity. In consideration of the fact that this governing body receives over $40,000 a year from 911 funds, I would call that a benefit to the county, which I think falls under the financial benefit clause just referenced, and that was referenced by the auditors. What I'm requesting is a complete forensic audit of 911 funds since inception to include a proper cross-referencing to the minutes that are supposed to approve all payments from that account. I believe that such a request is more than justified with the information I've referenced, and if not, I have substantially more information to support such a request if needed. And I'd appreciate some type of response to this information, either in writing or during a meeting in the future. I don't expect everybody to know any of this offhand because there's a lot of information here. That's just pertaining to 911. The disturbing thing that I see from an auditor standpoint, if these people are going to do your audit next year, and I'm not an accountant, but in 2009, they list a whole group of leases. Those leases are expired. Why are they in a 2009 audit? In 2006, they referenced leases that started in, or 2010 audit, they referenced leases that started in 2006, but they don't show up in the 2009 audit. Someone is not covering all the numbers in this. This information is completely inaccurate. I won't say completely. The stuff that really stands out, there's some errors in it. And if these folks are going to be doing the next audit, I hope somebody's looking at it with a fine-tooth comb, because there's a real problem. The numbers don't add up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will require the clerk to file that.
Thank you.
If you would like to arrange a meeting with our auditor, Mr. Allen, perhaps he can answer some of the questions.
I appreciate that. I really would.
I do. I cannot answer.
The biggest part is just the fact that they show line item budget information for an agency that's reported they don't have any budgets. I mean, if we don't have budgets, how are we spending money?
And I appreciate you pointing things out to us.
Thank you.
Because you've helped us in other ways. I would request, just a request, I would like for you and your group to help us more. You do, apparently you have a lot of intelligence, obviously a lot of time, and you're here to we know what kind of dire straits we're in.
Yes, sir.
We need help from the Citizens Committee, Watchdog, or whoever, to help us come up with a new source of revenue other than just taxes.
Well, if I may comment on that, sir?
Oh, absolutely.
In regards to something I referenced many months ago, and I've referenced to 911, the Insurance Service Office, I wish the insurance guy was still here because he probably has some tidbits on that. The Insurance Service Office outlines a rating system for every town that has a fire department. That rating number determines what your overall insurance premium is going to be for that entity. In Kansas, we went from a 9 to a 7. That saved an average homeowner $165 a year on their premium. In our 911 system, we're entitled, that's 1/3 of the rate. There's the water side of it, the response and personnel and training side.
I recall that.
Well, in that entity, if 911 would step up and get us 100% of the capable points, we're only getting 26 out of a possible 60 points. We missed a lower rating because we can't get 911 to address it. And I've addressed it with 911 and I got nowhere.
My question, help us find a source of revenue, general fund, so we can get this thing in shape and serve better all of us. With your time, I know there's things out there for us, but I can't find them. And I'm not Mark, prior state's attorney. I've read every state statute on taxation, and there is nothing available for a county of our size. So we have to rely on ourselves to find revenue. Aaron has found a lot. County Highway Department, which benefits the County Highway Department, benefits all of us. But I need help. We all need help benefiting this general fund. We're $600,000 red, as you see every month. And our chairman on the budget had made great strides this year to try to improve at the expense of our office holders. And I'm just requesting help.
I know.
Any ideas or something to come up with? You can address the budget chairman. I appreciate it.
I'd be more than happy to.
Thank you for your input.
Thank you.
Aaron, how about probation? Ken?
Well, we're trying to get back to billing services and seeing as many users as we can. We've lost 6 clinicians since January. We've only replaced 2 because of the uncertainty of the state budget. So there are long waiting lists both for mental health and substance use disorder services. But we're at a point now where we're trying to hire 2 additional people. We'll still be down 2 from where we were at our high point, but we can't justify going to that full staffing pattern with the recent round of cuts from the state. So we're making sure we try to keep things in line. But we are concerned that we have a substantial waiting list for those service areas.
Thank you. Sheriff, do you have anything for us?
I did. Training. Got a new officer, correctional officer in Springfield. He's on his third week. The good news is it's not costing us a small fortune in overtime because my third officer is back from military leave. So we still have a couple part-timers that we got to use.
This deputies?
No, correctional officers. IDOC was in this week for a follow-up on the last review. We took another tour through the facility. We're going to send another report to all of you, yourself, and myself, outlining what we found this time. However, their biggest thing was they said that we have made significant strides in improvement in the places the last time they were there. We've seen a lot of good things, so that's a good thing for all of us. They will comment again on that we are not adequately staffed by statute where we're supposed to be. They will make that recommendation again. 15 or more inmates, you have to have a jail administrator. We don't have one.
I didn't hear that.
I'm sorry, I take it back. 25 or more inmates must have a jail administrator. We average, right now we're averaging 30 a day. If it goes below the 25, the sheriff is the administrator. Just throwing that out. A couple weeks ago I had a public meeting in Selden, Chrisman. The public saw what the jail looked like. Since then, I've gotten a lot of calls from the citizens saying how much they want to volunteer their time, their energy, their materials to help.
That'd be great.
The churches, there's a couple of pastors that have been called, and they have staff, or not staff, but they have.
This is the same thing I was addressing Mr. Allen on, which I left you out, but that's a prime example. We all know that needs help. We need money or volunteer and time. So that's great. We get some volunteer. What Carl was asking me about earlier, the board does budget. I believe it's pretty sure it's $80,000 a year for general maintenance. And this year we haven't used. Some years we used one. We haven't used all of it. So it's available.
I'm aware because Jeff told me we have about 40,000 there that we're using here and there.
There are years we use every bit of it. Elevator. Anyway, I appreciate your comments.
District 95 was in this week. They're coming over. As a matter of fact, this Friday we're going to strip all our floors. We're going to be buffing, bring them up.
Fantastic.
Are they coming to the courthouse to do that too?
Yeah.
The reason they're coming over there is because we housed all their equipment. So Friday night, Saturday they'll be there. Plus they want to do all the ceiling tiles because, which I'll need money to buy some new ceiling tiles, but they will try to put them there for us. Another good thing. And the last thing I do have is about the merit. I know I could have asked a resolution for the board. Jeff took it to the state's attorney's office. He was told that, and I also got an email from the state's attorney's office that the merit commission itself can set its own rules and regulations. Well, I read that statute also, and that's very true. However, during our merit systems that the county passed in 1971, Section 4 strictly says that no matter if the board, the commission wants to change anything, rules or anything, they have to have a resolution by the county board to approve it. So I'm back to what I was when I first asked.
So that will be back on the table?
Well, the commission is going to have to bring you the amendment that they want to add. They'll give it to you, the board to read it, approve it, if so. then it can become part of the commission. So it's just, I understand statute says one thing, but section 4 of the commission in 1971, the board originally passed, stipulates that they have to have board approval for any regulations. So hopefully they will get it to you shortly.
Look forward to getting that from her.
And that statute, or that resolution I'm asking for is to be able to hire off the street, lateral experienced officers who have 2 years or more experience, who are certified by the state of Illinois, have good work standard, in good standings with their other agency. And if that's going to go without, we still have to merit test those who are not meet that criteria. So that's all.
Yes.
I just, and maybe Dwayne can talk about this, the radios, both of you, how we're doing on the radios. And
Radio, Wayne is getting a lot of calls from the environmental part of the radio, the ITTF, Illinois Drug Task Force, the Tourism Task Force. We'll probably get the radios, but we're jumping through hoops again.
Okay. There's the environmental historic preservation people, since when you throw repeaters and towers, although there's no dirt work being done, technically there shouldn't have, the way I read it, there really shouldn't have been any of that study done because there was no dirt turned or no change to the building, but evidently part of this grant must have funded that study, so that's being done, especially since the date of the building, 1893. They keep bringing that up. And, you know, I've sent pictures with arrows pointing, you know, I've have to jump through all kinds of hoop, and then they ask the same questions again about the grant. I am confident that we'll get the grant. There's nothing in there. As soon as we use that money up for those environmental people and they run out of funds of that grant, then I'm sure they're going to approve it. But we haven't spent all their, you know, they're a vendor that's supplying this study. And when they get done, you know, when they're out of money, then they'll approve it. That's just my experience.
that's wonderful.
Yep. They have a budget for that, and they're going to spend it.
And is this in the next 6 months or 2 years?
No, it's got to be by the end of the month.
Oh, okay, all right.
So they're whipping me out emails about every other day.
So it's interesting that one county asked for $650,000 to do all the radios, equipment, everything. Got it within 2 weeks. We're only asking for $50,000.
That's for more, right?
Should have asked for 6.
And that may have been this same grant is being handled by ILEAS is doing, and that may have been an ILEAS grant, and they didn't hire the environmental people, evidently. All they said, if you're not turning any dirt, you're not building any tires, you're good to go. I've got one of those grants too, I'm not having any problem with it. This one is being handled by a different entity, and evidently they have hired these.
I'm glad I asked.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
They should have asked for $1 million, right?
Thank you, gentlemen.
Anything else?
No, I'm done.
I would like to, before we move on, Chair, that perfect example of what we're talking about constantly with when people communicate, cooperate with one another. And I really appreciate what you're doing and what you're getting done. I think these are
Bad.
I don't know what's else to do.
Did they pass you earlier?
No, I haven't.
I didn't hear you say anything. You just didn't have anything to say.
I get never bit.
I do have a question about.
No.
Okay.
Thanks, Jeff.
I just wanted you to make sure that if there's been some confusion on, you know, you made a lot of changes in the system last year of assessment, but that didn't constitute a quadrennial for any township other than the ones that were due to get one. Is that correct?
Correct.
So
The changes last year were due to implementing the GIS, which changed the acreages in farmland on a lot of parcels. But we do farmland every year.
right. So there was, so the schedule has not been modified for quadrennials.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure that's clear. And then, but with the new census and so forth, you're also going to get the townships together for their assessments and how they're going to handle it.
For the multi-townships, yes.
Right, so that's going to be addressed. And hopefully people are
As soon as I
flexible.
get through this assessment year, I've looked at it, and I'll start working on it probably after the first year.
I knew there was some confusion, not just here, but, you know, other people did, so I wanted to make sure we clarified that.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mark.
And covered in executive session.
Seeing all your good news to today. Mr. Clerk?
Yes, I would like to announce that the 2012 election campaign season has already kicked off. Some of the more higher profile races would be all county board members are up due to the 2010 census. We have the circuit clerk, we have the state's attorney, and the coroner and precinct committee. Those are some of the local more high profile races. Anybody has any questions, feel free to contact our office, and we'll be glad to do our best to answer those questions.
Are petitions available now?
Petitions are available now. The first day to file is November 28th.
When's the deadline?
The deadline to file is December the 5th. So that's all I have.
Yes.
Unless somebody has a question for me. Real quick, the response to health insurance reporting back to my office is very high. I think we have just maybe a few that have not gotten back to us. So the response has been pretty good. Most everybody understands what we've got going on. Kirk's done a pretty good job. Billy Ann's done a good job. So this is going to be a good program for the county, and it's going to save us money.
Anything else? I would entertain a motion to move into executive session for the purpose of litigation, personnel, and rent. Jeff Point moves. Second by Carl Farnham. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I do not believe there'll be any action following the closed session.
We've got to sign a lot of papers.
After the closed session.
Janice
And the site fees.
Keller.
We do have a quorum. Need a motion to approve the minutes of August 10th, 2011.
So moved.
Moved by Jeff Boyd, Kevin, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Need a motion to approve the county board member. I'm sorry, claims against the county.
So moved.
Marvin moves. Second, Pointer seconds. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I need a motion to approve county board member. Kevin moves.
Second.
Jeff Point seconds. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Now we're getting into the heart of the meeting. We're in where Aaron never been. We have several highway resolutions. Resolution number 1. Resolution authorizing the county board to execute contract with Howe Asphalt Company as the parent low bidder for the following Vermillion Road. moves, Jeff Pointer seconds. We may ask board members to sign after the meeting because of the number of them. If you would, stay. Number 2, resolution authorizing county. Oh, I'm sorry, roll call.
Pointer.
Yes.
Trogdon. Boyd.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
You know, we get a motion and a second. That's almost a majority. What's here? Resolution authorizing county board chairman to execute the contract with Mid-State Construction Roofing as a low bidder for the energy efficient conservation block grant. And this is senior installation roof system.
So moved.
Moved by Jeff Boyd. Second by Kevin Trogdon. Be a roll call.
Pointer.
Yes.
Trogdon.
Yes.
Boyd.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Number 3, a resolution authorizing county board chairman to execute contract with the overhead door company for the same block grant. These are grants the county highway department has to make the building out there more energy efficient. Jeff Pointer moves.
Second.
Carl Farnum seconds. Be a roll call vote.
Pointer.
Yes.
Trogdon.
Yes.
Boyd.
Yes.
Farnum.
I've got a question. Roughly what percent is the grants covered?
75-25.
Yes.
Carried.
Is that everybody?
Yes.
Number 4. A resolution to appropriate aid from the county bridge fund to substantially assist in expense of designing and repairing existing closed low water crossing in Elderstown. Kevin moves. Carl seconds. Roll call, please.
Pointer.
Yes.
Trogdon.
Yes.
Terry.
Boyd.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Motion carried.
One comment. Ed, I don't know whether you're aware where this, the Ford down Midwestern Gas, you know where that is? Down by Elbridge? Okay. Well, anyway, that particular Ford is closed, and something you need to make your dispatchers aware of that I talked to a fireman the other day, and they're concerned that if they get, because like Midwestern Gas Street is like a mile long approximately, and there's maybe 8 or 9 houses on the road. 3 of them are on the north side of the slab, 5 or 6 are on the south side, and they're concerned to know exactly when they get a call maybe on that road to go to fire. It could be an ambulance, it could be your own deputies. They need to know whether the house is on the north side or the south side, because they have to change the route to get to it. Well, if they're coming from Vermilion, if it's on the south side, they got to go down to Elbridge and come in from the south. But if the residence is on the north side, they got to come a different direction. So I guess your dispatchers need to be aware that the slab is closed, you cannot cross it, and someone needs to determine which the certain houses, which side they are on the slab, so they can notify the responding agencies to know that the slab is closed, that they will have to come in from a different direction depending on where the location is. But just make sure that they're aware of it, the ambulance, so that if they do get a call before it gets repaired, they won't come from one direction and have to spend 10 minutes to go all the way around to get to the response.
I'll
soon can that be fixed?
Number 5, Aaron, you have it.
Kevin had a question.
Are we looking at 2 months or a month?
We're as quick as possible. I'm hoping a month, but
Excuse me, can you repeat the question?
How soon?
How soon can it get there? Your response was?
we're hoping as quickly as a month turnaround. But that's pretty. We're trying to get there before the water comes back up.
How high is the water?
It's great right now. It's low. There is no water right
Okay.
now.
Now, my question is, do you have a copy of the resolution in front of you?
I do not.
Thank you. Resolution number 5, have no idea what it is. Authorizing county board chairman to sign local agency federal preliminary engineering agreement.
That's the LA. That's the 90% federal participation for the County Highway 1 Heelands Dip project.
That's part of the Eland Dip.
It's the preliminary engineering for that. It's an agreement with the Department of Transportation that will provide 90% federal participation for that engineering.
The motion.
So moved.
Jeff Point, seconds. Be a roll call vote.
Pointer?
Yes.
Trogdon?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Farnham?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item number 6, resolution authorizing county board chairman to sign local agency consultant preliminary engineering service agreement with 9 associates surveying the following project. Same project, correct?
Yes, that's the. We're
Yeah.
hiring a surveyor to do the survey work, the topographic survey, as soon as the leaves get off the trees.
Carl Miller. Jeff Pointer, seconds. Roll call, please.
Pointer?
Yes.
Trogdon?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Farnham?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 7. There's 7 different parts of this. A motion to approve 7 additional or revisions of the Edgar County Highway Department personnel policy adopted 9/12/06, effective 10/17/11, to ensure disaster recovery program and public infrastructure compliance as follows. We're going to read them, and we're going to have one vote to cover them all. If there's any questions about any individual one, the board member should speak up, and we'll pull it out and do it separately. And section 15-8 is affirmative fair housing to the existing policy. Add section 15-9, code of conduct to the existing policy, replacing chapter 3, equal opportunity, in its entirety with the new chapter 3, equal opportunity policies. Replacing section 9-2, reserved with the section 9-2, prohibits the use of excessive force. Add section 15-10, procurement to the existing policy. Add 15-11, residential anti-displacement relocation assistance to the existing policy. Replace chapter 10, sexual harassment policy in its entirety with the new chapter 10, sexual harassment and employment. These are all necessary for us to qualify and satisfy state in compliance so that we may receive additional grants funds.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman. Originally, we'd gotten these documents and they were going to affect everybody. I noticed how this is written, that it only affects your department.
That's correct. The Highway Department has its own policy manual that was adopted.
And in fact, were you aware, and is this a problem, or, we went through the motions of asking everybody else, doesn't that still have an effect on the entire county?
This limited to the Edgar County Highway Personnel Policy.
Okay, so it's appropriate.
It affects the Edgar County Highway Department policy.
Okay. That's fine. We should have headed that way.
We could, at a later date, if you wish, change the county policy.
That's fine. That's an easier way to do it. I'm glad. I just was asking because that's not the way we're headed. So that's fine.
Jeff, what I think is going to be a committee that's looking at amending or modifying the county policy. Probably then have to take this into account to make it the new amended policy, make it consistent with the county highways. There's no conflict, really, there's nothing we're looking at to do, so maybe we can.
That's fine. I just want to make sure.
That'll be brought up in that later committee, is my guess.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Aaron.
One quick comment.
Sorry.
Only the policies, i.e. the EEO and the sexual harassment, only the policies that replace the existing policy in their entirety will stay. The other half a dozen or so policies, right in the written policy, it says that it is applicable and pertains only to the EECBG or the IPI project. It says right in the policy that policy is in our manual for that project. Sexual harassment and EEO replace existing policy. And they don't say that those two things are focused on just the ICE project.
Most of these policies are not even in county board's policies, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. And most of the time I can't see why they should be.
I agree.
But, well, no. Any questions? I would entertain a motion to approve Carl Farnham moves. Kevin seconds. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. All right. Roll call.
Pointer?
Yes.
Trogdon?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Farnham?
Yes.
Thank you. Again, at the meeting, that's the same sign.
There's some documents on it.
Easy paperwork. And number 8.
So moved. How's that, Mr. Chairman?
Motion to file. Intergovernmental cooperative agreement to undertake carry out the Ike disaster recovery. It's an intergovernmental agreement with Rockton, Kansas, Michigan. It's been moved by Jeff, second by Kevin. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. On a motion to file?
Oh, okay, motion.
Motion carries. I don't know what happened here, but number 8. We need a resolution to transfer funds from the Edgar County Land Fund to the General Fund.
Mr. Chairman, Terry, you have those resolutions. This is an annual housekeeping item. It's in the amount of $55,000, and I'd like to move its adoption.
Move that we transfer fund
55
from the county land fund. These funds are actually from the farm rental
and payment.
It's been moved. Is there a second? Second. Trogdon. Be a roll call vote.
Pointer?
Yes.
Trogdon?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Farnham?
Yes.
Carries.
Number 9, resolution to transfer funds from animal control rabies fund and general fund.
That's in the amount of $10,000 given annual.
The reason for this transfer is it is housekeeping. We have to keep the rabies fund at a certain level for a period of time in case there's a rabies outbreak in the county. After that time, we transfer the funds back into the general fund. We never completely eliminate that fund. There's still funds in it, and it will grow rapidly again. Roll call vote.
I didn't get a motion yet.
I'm sorry. Jeff Pointer and Jeff Boyd.
Pointer?
Yes.
Trogdon?
Yes.
Boyd?
Yes.
Farnham?
Yes.
Resolution transfer from dog fund to the general fund.
Again, a housekeeping item. It's in the amount of $5,000. There's still sufficient funds in there. So we do it on an annual basis.
Any questions on that one? Any motion? Kevin moves. Pointer seconds. Another roll call.
Pointer?
Yes.
Trogdon?
Yes.
Boyd?
Yes.
Farnham?
Yes.
I have here number 11, a motion to approve the 2012 holiday schedule for Illinois Supreme Court order. Unless I misplaced it, I do not have that schedule. Does everybody have a schedule? Okay. That's it, look.
They missed your birthday, Jim. I would recommend that this be tabled, and normally the clerk submits our own schedule. These dates are ordered by the Supreme Court. Obviously, we have that, but in our county, we've added a day. So that just to approve this would be contrary to in our county. We also had Good Friday.
Oh, Good Friday?
Yeah, Good Friday. There's always, in the past.
Can we just amend it?
Pardon me?
Can we just amend it and add it? And pass it?
Can't hear what you're saying. You speak.
Okay. Never mind, Mr. Chairman.
I make a motion to the table till next week.
Carl moves, we table. Is there a second? Kevin, second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion will be tabled. Affect Karen's office. You know.
Yeah, we're lucky.
Item 12. As the resolution, now you speak in
I need to let you know I was here.
As a resolution to approve and renew WIN's service agreement.
In working on the 2012 budget, that WINS is the Inspiron Logistics is the vendor for Edgar County Emergency Alert System. That contract expires in 2012. I was concerned with the budget, the budgeting process, that was a 3-year agreement, that it would go up and there wasn't money in the budget for an increase in that. And so I contacted them to see, what they thought about the cost of it next year for that, if we'd be able to afford it, and cried on their shoulders, and they got back with me that they would extend the contract at the same cost for 2 years with no raise. So the cost will remain the same. That's $10,400 or $500 a year. We share that cost with the city of Paris and Crestwood School and Paris Community High School. We don't pay the whole $10,000. We just pay half, or a little less than half now, since we have extra partners. So I thought we'd take that opportunity. I was surprised that there was no increase at all. I tried to.
Need a motion? Carl moves. Got Pointer second. Need a roll call vote.
Pointer?
Yes.
Brogdon?
Yes.
Hoyt?
Yes.
Farnham?
Yes.
Okay, item 13 and 14, I'm not familiar with. I have not heard from the Sheriff's Committee.
At the last meeting, we had got a sample, I guess, agreement on this, or a resolution, I guess, a generic one. It was turned over to the state's attorney. We just got it yesterday, and the Sheriff's Committee hasn't had time to get together, especially since Verlin's out of town, to take a look at it. I don't really see a problem with it, but still we haven't got together. So later this month, when we have our meeting, we'll talk about it and get it on next month's agenda.
You had said that if this wasn't pressing, these two.
No, because we don't have a budget yet, and this is just a fact.
So it won't hurt to wait a few minutes.
On this one.
What's
I moved to table.
Jeff Hoyt moves to table.
Can I move both of them, 13 and 14? Oh, got a separate.
Moves to table 13. Jeff Hoyt seconds. Don't need a roll call. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Item 14. Jeff, you wish to table that too?
Please.
Jeff Hoyt moves. Jeff Pointer seconds. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'm going to switch item 15 and 16 around. Item 16, approve oath and bond for Evelyn Stanfield, Union Drainage District Number 1, Kansas, Ashburn County, with Edgar County.
So moved.
Jeff moves. Jeff White moves. I will need a second. Carl seconds. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Carried. Mr. Clerk, what is item 17?
Public session. That's just where we acknowledge all
It
this.
is. These are always clean together. Let's do the committee reports and consider action. Yes.
I'd like to turn it over to Augie so we can talk about the insurance, so that Kurt can move on if he needs to.
All right. The insurance committee has met 2 or 3 different times, and we had the low bid was awarded to Diamond Brothers, and I'd like to introduce Kurt Good from Diamond Brothers, who is the writing agent And Kirk, if you could give us just a broad overview of the two plans, that'd be great.
The two plans that the county chose to offer to the employees effective October 1st. The first plan is from Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's a $500 deductible plan. It's got a $20 office copay and a $15, $30, $50 prescription card benefit. And the second plan is an HSA plan with a higher deductible to $2,500, and then it's 100% co-insurance after that. So basically, once you meet your $2,500, insurance pays 100% after that.
What's the maximum out-of-pocket expense for each plan?
The $500 deductible plan, you have an out-of-pocket maximum of $2,000 for employees, $6,000 for family, and the out-of-pocket maximum for the HSA is $2,500 for individual and $5,000 for family.
Now, I understand, I know the chairman's not here, but I understand that the board has approved the $2,500 deductible. Not approved, the committee has recommended the $2,500 deductible, but offering the $500 deductible for an employee who wants to pick up the difference in cost. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I know it's confusing to people, but it's not really.
Mr. Chairman.
No.
Sorry.
This has got to be effective October 1st.
Correct.
Have you had the opportunity to speak to employees?
Yes.
So they understand their options, and they need to contact you on which one they prefer.
Billy Ann.
Billy Ann, okay. They have to do it before October 1st.
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, I think it's important to realize or to say that the plan as presented and recommended will save the budget approximately $148,000 per year.
Of course, that's important.
And we're very pleased with the options that were presented. The committee, I think there's quite a few of us have been involved, and everybody's been involved, and it's been a good thing. I'd like to move that we accept Blue Cross Blue Shield's NPP 83423 PPO and Blue Cross Blue Shield's NPEC 1807 HSA as the new plans effective October 1st. That in order to get the first plan, the 3423, that the employee must pay the difference, which is, I'm sorry, $90. Additionally, they will continue to pay the $20 that they've been paying for whatever plan they get. And that if also effective October 1st, that the opt-out will no longer be available. I'm sorry, the opt-out will be cut to $500.
Because what were they getting if they opted out?
1,000.
$500.
Did I miss anything, guys?
The reimbursement of any deductible, you want to mention that or not?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I do not understand. If they choose the $500 deductible, and we self-insure for $500, that's no deductible.
Oh, I'm sorry. And then we eliminate, that's the other thing, we eliminate the self-insured. We're no longer paying the $500, is that correct? Since we dropped to $500, right? Buggy? That's the reason we went with this plan.
That's why we went with the $500 deductible.
Right. And we will no longer be repaying the $500 that we were.
That's correct.
Correct.
That's correct.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
We're operating here under a handicap that our chairman is is not here today due to death in the family. I would like, if you can,
Okay, so,
what we to rephrase the entire motion to be all inclusive.
you want to try it or you want me to?
I just want everybody to understand what we're doing.
Okay, we're accepting the 2 Blue Cross plans.
Right.
Okay, the employees to get the PPO, which is a $500 deductible, will pay the difference between that and the HSA. They will continue to pay $20 for both plans. The $500 underwriting of deductible will be discontinued, and the opt-out will be cut in half from 1,000 to 500. Okay?
Does everybody understand?
Do you have any questions, Karen?
What was that, the $20? What was the beginning of that?
Well, you will,
Everyone pays $20 a month now.
that'll continue. And then you'll pay, if you want the $500 deductible plan, you'll pay an additional $90 a month.
That's the 110.
Right,
And
right.
if you go the HSA,
You pay $20. It's basically, there's no change in what you're going to be paying. The plans are going to change a little bit. And since the one plan is dropped to $500 deductible, then we're no longer going to reimburse that $500. And then the opt-out will be cut in half.
Is there a second for that motion? Carl seconds.
And that's all effective October 1st.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Good. This doesn't have anything to do with motion, but I'm curious, Kurt, with employees, they understand this $2,500 deductible is less out of pocket, total out of pocket expense, right?
PPO would be less out of pocket. That's the $500 deductible.
$500.
Right.
Which they would pay extra for if they had a sickness.
The big difference between the PPO and the HSA is the PPO plan has a drug card and a prescription card where you just pay those copay amounts. The HSA plan, you're going to pay everything out of your pocket 100%, but that amount you pay for those office visits and prescriptions go towards your deductible. And once you reach that deductible amount, then the plan pays 100%.
I just would make sure that that covers all drugs. Is that, is there some that are, say I sign up for an HSA and then somewhere down the line they say, oh, we won't cover that, and that's a cancer drug that I'm taking. Then it's like, okay, I need to know that up front.
Right, that's a good question.
I don't know, Karen, how we know that. That's happened to me just last week.
See, that would make a huge difference.
I went over to get my
than what
medicine,
plan I would pick.
and I said, well, your insurance don't cover it. Without any prior notice.
What happened to you, Jim? What was that?
The insurance changed their plan and would not cover a certain medicine.
Not at this point.
Not
Okay, all right, okay.
The other thing you can do with the HSA is create your own health savings plan that then at the end of the year is deductible. In other words, if you put 1,000 in, then you're shielding that 1,000 from taxes. Okay, and then there's a list of what you can pay out of your HSA account.
Okay, let's move along.
One more question, Jim. When you were saying out-of-pocket maximum on the HSA, you said $2,500.
Correct.
Does that coincide with the deductible, or how does it?
That deductible, once you reach your deductible, that's in network, we're talking. Once you reach that $2,500, then the plan pays 100% after that.
No matter what? I mean,
that's right.
Okay. That's what I want to make sure, because when you said...
See, that's what I want to make sure.
Yeah,
as long as you stay in network. If it falls out of network, there's a whole different set of deductibles and out-of-pockets.
No, I'll stay in network as much as I can, yeah.
I hope everybody understands.
And Kirk is going to be around to answer questions. Billy and
Okay, ready to move on. Any other committee
We're working on the budget, Mr. Chairman. I thought I'd let everybody know at this point in time, 79% of the year has transpired. Our revenues are at 79%, so we're on track. And expenditures are at 77%. So we're down. You'll notice that yes, and you'll notice Don will be taking credit for a little bit of growth here and a little bit of breathing room. And I guess that's all I wanted to say at that time. We do have a meeting with Danica this afternoon, the windmill people for the windmill farms at 1 o'clock, and we'll learn something about what they're up to and go on. Thank you.
The building committee would like to set up a meeting sometime this month with you to talk about jail repairs and what we proceed with all that. So after Ben gets back, we'll get with you and set up a time where we can sit down and talk.
Anything else? Jeff, you have anything? No. Okay. Aaron, you have anything else for us? Okay. Center stage.
All right.
You enjoy this part of your job, don't you?
Yes. If I've got good news. Some good news is that some money has been trickling in from the state. Probation, all they owe us for is July and August, which is kind of normal. I mean, they can't pay it instantly. So public defender still owes us for May, June, July, and August of $19,000. State's attorney owes us for June, July, and August of $28,000. Sales and supplemental is good through July, and that's as good as you can get. However, local use is up to date. Sales and income tax, however, we're $187,000 behind, meaning for May, June, July, and August.
It's income tax.
Income tax. So that would be wonderful if we could get some of that coming in. Remember, November 30th, I have to go talk with the bank and pay back what we used to carry us through these times. As of right now, the money that we have collected and are still going to collect is not going to quite cover it. I just did some quick number crunching. We're still going to need about $50,000 by the time this all rolls around. Because right now we got a balance to distribute of $204,000 sitting in that corporate account, and we still need about $75,000, and there's only about $30,000 out there we're going to collect because we still have abatement, so we got to take off of some of that and another certificate of error. So as time gets closer, I'll be able to fine tune that number a little bit better. Remember, we're going to, this is something I meant to mention, before December 31st, we want to pay some money towards IMRF. That's got to do that. And the last thing, remember back last year when we did not collect the public defender for June of 2009, I filed with the Court of Claims to get it. A lot of fellow treasurers says, don't waste your time, you'll never get it. I did it anyway. We were granted that. Then the other treasurer says you'll never get the money. Well, I'm happy to say I got $4,444 the other day. So. Huh? That was what was owed for that month, and we get to keep all that because we already have paid her in Clark County for all that anyway. So that is just, sometimes the system does work. So,
System remains on.
yeah. State's Attorney, June, July, and August, 28,000.
Does, I had a question, does the slight improvement in our red figures, that due to the transfers already been done?
No, transfers have not been done. Well, now,